First and foremost, I'd like to apologize for missing last week's UFC Fight Night. Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett. It was fun. I feel like everyone was kind of expecting Josh Emmett to go out and get this huge knockout, but Lerone Murphy is he's a great fighter. He is a great fighter. He was kind of keeping him on the outside the entire time and didn't really do anything crazy except at the end when Josh Emmett was getting a little impatient, started calling to the ground. But other than that, it was a fun fight to just chill and watch, but I didn't think, making a whole video was going to be a big deal. But there's some stuff that we want to cover, including 314, which is a super exciting card, especially the prelims. I think the prelims have a lot more hidden gems and a lot more build-ups or put-downs than you'd really think. Also, we got some fight announcements that happened. I think no new fight announcements have been made yet other than Carlos Pratas versus Ian Gary. But that's going to be a really fun fight. I'm really excited for that one. But first and foremost, I want to get started off by comparing Josh Emmett to the torpedo bat from MLB. We're going to put two pictures. This one's Josh Emmett, and this one's the torpedo bat. As you can see, it's a little thicker in this region like he is, and then it's a little skinnier down here. So, just for you guys to think about. Next. Is anyone else wondering why Ilia Topuria vacated the belts? I think Dana White was pretty clear when he said that there was going to be no more double champions. But why would Ilia vacate the belts? Is it he truly did believe he was done in that division, or did he think that was the easiest way to kind of become a champion? And we might be seeing something here like we did with Alex Pereira, where we think someone's untouchable until they get touched.
Huh?
But, he vacated the belt. First of all, he didn't even get a guaranteed fight offer with Makhachev. He's probably going to have to fight someone who's closest to fighting Makhachev. So who's that? Who's closest? It's not Dustin Poirier, just got done with that. It's probably not Justin Gaethje. The Fiziev fight was great, but it probably won't be that. He might have to go up and fight Arman Tsarukyan, which is a hell of a fight. So you're saying, which the lightweight division right now is one of the most competitive divisions in fighting sports, or in the UFC. It's definitely, if not the most difficult division to move around in. So I think, if we're talking 1 to 2 fights in the lightweight division before even getting a shot at Makhachev, that's ridiculous. I think he definitely should have got a guaranteed, fight offer, or he shouldn't have vacated the belt. I think he had some more stuff he could do with his belt, but you live and you learn. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he might go in there and fight Makhachev, beat him out, and be considered the double champ. But other than that, who knows? Let's get to 314. Volkanovski's getting the chance to get his belt back. It's vacant, and they're giving two choices. And this is a very, very good deal for Volkanovski because he's on a 2-fight loss streak. He got KO'd in his last fight. He got KO'd in the fight before that. And this is his first fight of 2025, and we're almost halfway through. Volkanovski is a short fighter, but he's stocky, he has power. It's just, is he going to get to the fighter he's facing? I think his chances with Ilia Topuria were a lot better. Diego Lopes is a beast. He's had a super quick title run. He debuted in 2023. He beat Brian Ortega last. Before that, he kind of got a run for his money with Dan Ige, but not really. He won the first 2 rounds. Dan Ige just turned up on the third. I love Volkanovski. Everybody loves Volkanovski. Everyone likes the little Australian man doing some cooking. Unfortunately, I don't know if Volkanovski has this one in him. You've heard people say that he's too old. That might just be true. and I'd hate to see a Tony Ferguson situation happen with Volkanovski, but since his KO from Makhachev, people have been bringing it up. So I'm going to give Diego Lopes the win, and I'm going to say he's the new title holder. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Chandler just lost for the second time against Charles Oliveira. And he's fighting Paddy Pimblett in this up-and-coming fight. When it comes to top-level fighters, people who you think of their name or you see their rank and you say they deserve to be where they are, Paddy Pimblett is very controversial in the fact where no one can agree if he deserves the hype that he's getting, because people don't really want to enjoy his personality. His look, he kind of looks like a medieval peasant. But he, at a certain point, you gotta admit, he's not bad. He just beat King Green. He submitted him. King Green has fallen off. We're not even going to go there. He just got knocked out by Mauricio Rufy. But Paddy Pimblett isn't that bad. He beat Tony Ferguson. He was kind of washed. But, we'll see what happens. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Give me the peasant. The King Dana said no wheat for the village unless Paddy Pimblett brings home the fucking dub. So I'm going to give it to Paddy Pimblett. And you know what? I like Michael Chandler because this is kind of a make or break top level fight moment for him. But I don't think he really understands that. I think he's doing pistol squats, having fun. Guys, I don't have ball cancer, by the way. I want to take a second to just appreciate that I don't have ball cancer. We went into the not autopsy. Oh my gosh, we went into the what's it called place today?
The walk-in clinic.
And also
Don't
say weed.
I walked in. Yeah, no one came with me, which is kind of fucked up because if I did, but what's it called? Come on, someone give me a name.
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound. There we go.
Stinky McLinky.
On Saturday afternoon, no, Friday night, me and Owen are playing a game, and I said, I gotta go take a piss, and I go to the bathroom, and I find a lump on my left testicle. I then had to go to work the next day and work all day with a sore testicle. I went to the walk-in clinic, and I let the lady not at the desk, that would have been weird. They laughed at me, actually. That's the first thing they did. When I walked in there, they laughed at me. And they said, what's wrong? And I said, I have a lump on my testicle, and I think I might be dying. And so I get sent to the back, and the lady had to touch it. My girlfriend was none too pleased. Anyways, the lady touches it, and she says, we got to make an appointment at the ultrasound place. That's where I went today. Another lady touched two ladies. One, not so attractive. Second one, she's pretty good looking. Hopefully they don't see this. They won't see this. That's ridiculous. I don't even know how I question that. Anyways, they said I don't have nut cancer, so we're good. Who knows? Anyways, where were we? Bryce Mitchell versus John Silva. Bryce Mitchell he beat Kron Gracie by KO. Got him on the ground and boom! Boom! Knocked him out. But then he had to go and run his mouth. He was kind of fun and lovable when he was talking shit about the government and about seatbelts. That's kind of cool, where he's like, I want to sell my own milk. Then he started saying stuff about the Jews. My girlfriend's Jewish. I don't take that stuff lightly. So he's lucky that John Silva's going in there. John Silva is coming off a pretty big, almost walk-away KO. I don't think it was over anyone too notable. But John Silva, fighting nerd. The Fighting Nerds, this is starting to seem to be their year. And so was last year. So I have a good feeling that the next year might be it too. So I don't think it's going to end. So obviously I'm going to give it to John Silva because Dana White knows how badly... Dana White is literally in the Roman Colosseum. And he just captured Bryce Mitchell as a prisoner of war. And he's feeding him to the fans. And then we have Spartacus. Did he lead the... Whatever. John Silva's going to knock him out. Yeah. Yair Rodriguez lost to Brian Ortega in front of his GF. So that's embarrassing. But we kind of have a black horse. Is that it? Dark horse. Dark horse riding into battle today with Patricio Pitbull coming from Bellator. He's fought around a lot. He was in Ryzen. and he was in Bellator, and now he's coming to the UFC. I don't know much about him, but I've heard a lot of talks about him. I think this guy's a real, he's a real winner. He is he's 1-2 in his last 3, so, we'll see. And I like Yair Rodriguez, so I'm going to give it to Yair. Nikita, I gotta read this to pronounce it. Nikita Krylov is coming off a 3-fight win streak, but has lost to everyone relevant except Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, though he is relevant, that's not a very impressive task to knock out Johnny Walker. I'm sure, if you're in the heavyweight division and you throw a punch in the dark, you probably knocked out Johnny Walker on accident. But he's fighting Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is coming off a 2-fight win streak, not 3, 2. His last fight, you could blame his win against Anthony Smith as kind of a outside intervention moment where, no, it was Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith in his corner was saying stuff like, I don't want to do this anymore. Stuff that, you shouldn't say in the middle of a fight because it kind of makes you look like a total pussy, but I don't know what happened. Sean Woodson hasn't lost in 7 fights, and he's 6'2". Dan Ige is 5'6". So what do we... Sean Woodson had a huge knockout in his last fight, and then after that he went on record saying that he believes he's the one that's going to beat Ilia Topuria. Fortunately for Ilia, he vacated the belt. Maybe that's why he vacated, but I don't think that's why. Dan Ige lost to Lerone Murphy, and he's on a 2-fight loss streak, but I love Dan Ige. And Sean Woodson kind of looks weird to me, so I'm going to pick Dan Ige, but also just because he has a lot better wrestling. Dan Ige is way more impressive. I think that fighting Diego Lopes on 8 hours' notice, obviously that's awesome, but his abilities to put it on him in the last round, even though he had lost the first 2 pretty definitively, it's impressive. Jim Miller, most wins in the UFC, oldest man in the UFC, coming off submission win. Jim Miller is an incredible fighter. He's fought in 100, 200, and 300, and I don't believe he's done yet, and I think that he's showing that by still winning. Still having great submissions, great wrestling, all this stuff. He's fighting Chase Hooper, who just beat Clay Guida, and Chase Hooper is more of a grappling specialist, so I do believe if it comes to a battle of grappling, Chase Hooper will probably win that. I think on the feet, Chase Hooper is yet to kind of be tested about that, really, from someone who's notable. So we'll see his experience versus talent. And but that's not saying that Chase kind of is lucky for where he is. I mean, he worked hard, but I think this is going to be a really hard fight for him, and I think he knows it as well. I don't think he's overlooking him at all. But other than that, tune in Saturday. We're going to do the live watch party, of course. Hopefully Hopefully Quicksilver will be joining us this time. Owen will be there. Don't try to find us, or I'll beat your ass. Thank you, guys. See you later.